How much are we really willing to forgive? Jesus tells a powerful story in Matthew chapter 18 about forgiveness, mercy, and what happens when someone receives compassion, but refuses to show that same compassion to someone else. Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is like a king who wanted to settle accounts with his servants. As the king began settling those accounts, one servant was brought before him who owed an enormous debt, 10,000 talents. The debt was so great that the servant could not pay it. Because he had no way to repay what he owed, the king commanded that the servant, his wife, his children, and everything he had be sold so that payment could be made. The servant fell down before the king. He pleaded with him, saying, "Have patience with me, and I will pay you everything." Then something remarkable happened. The king was moved with compassion. He released the servant, and he forgave the debt. Think about what that means. The servant walked into that moment carrying a debt he could not pay. But he walked away free because someone chose to have mercy on him. You might expect that kind of mercy to change a person. But Jesus continues the story. That same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants who owed him a much smaller debt, 100 pence. He grabbed the man and demanded, "Pay me what you owe." Then his fellow servant fell down before him and pleaded with him. And notice how familiar his words sound. "Have patience with me, and I will pay you." The first servant had just made essentially the same plea before the king. He knew what it was like to owe a debt. He knew what it was like to beg for patience. And most importantly, he knew what it was like to receive mercy. But when someone else needed mercy from him, he refused. Instead, he had his fellow servant thrown into prison until the debt could be paid. Other servants saw what happened. They were deeply troubled, and they went to the king and told him everything. Then the king called the first servant back. He said to him, "O thou wicked servant, I forgave thee all that debt because thou desirest me." Then the king asked a piercing question. "Shouldn't you also have had compassion on your fellow servant, just as I had pity on you?" The king was angry and delivered the servant to the tormentors until he should pay everything that was owed. Then Jesus brings the lesson directly to his listeners. He warns that his heavenly Father will likewise deal seriously with those who refuse to forgive their brother from the heart. This parable forces us to look beyond what someone else owes us. It makes us remember the mercy we ourselves have received. The servant wanted mercy when he was the one who owed the debt. But when the situation was reversed, he demanded payment. He received compassion but refused to give compassion. He was forgiven, but he would not forgive. And that is the warning Jesus places before us. Forgiveness is not merely something we want to receive. It is something Jesus commands us to extend to others. That does not mean that what someone did to us was right. It does not pretend that the hurt never happened. But we cannot celebrate mercy when it is given to us, while refusing mercy when we are called to extend it. So this parable leaves us with a deeply personal question. Is there someone whose debt you are still holding on to? Someone you believe still owes you for what they did? Remember the servant standing before the king. Remember the compassion he received. And then remember what Jesus said about forgiving from the heart. We have received mercy. Now we must be willing to show mercy.